at one point, I said to my girlfriend, if you got pregnant, you'd just have an abortion, right? And
How old were you?
17, I thought. Well, I think she was quite shocked, taken back by that, as she should have been. And I was shocked that she was shocked. But I think this is what happens when we indoctrinate children with stupid television shows like Friends and Seinfeld that are going on the fumes of a Christian civilization while tearing it down at the same time. Like, just think of the sitcom Friends. It would have been a much healthier show if it had have demonized fornication and allowed for occasional cigarette smoking. But it was the opposite. So when you're kind of raised in that culture, when you're shown pornography from a young age, you're indoctrinated and you start to think that black is white and evil is good and good is evil.
And it sounds like this is why you took the tack with your book, providing the case against porn from a non-religious angle, because you're speaking into this culture, right? Where we're, like you said, the fumes of a post-Christian culture. Absolutely. You know, we were founded on these sort of principles that are ultimately, they are moral values that are rooted in Judeo-Christian tradition and the natural law, but people have lost touch with that. And so there's so much chaos about, is it right or wrong to kill a baby in the womb today? You know, is it right or wrong to cheat? Is it right or wrong to, you know, be a polygamist, basically? You know, people are having these open relationships. You know, where do we draw lines and boundaries with this stuff? So your decision to start with the non-religious was because you didn't want people to think, oh, I have to be religious to recognize the moral realities here.
That's right. Yeah, I wanted to show that there's good arguments from sociology, psychology, and neurology that would show that consuming pornography is really bad for you, your relationships, and society as a whole. Now, I don't think that goes nearly far enough, but I thought it was the beginning.
What are the biggest harms of pornography, based on the sociology or based on the psychology?
There's a lot. I mean, there's
some of the top ones.
Well, erectile dysfunction is on the rise, premature ejaculation, the inability to climax of women who consume pornography, brain atrophy. It messes with your dopamine system, obviously. If one is consuming pornography with any regularity, there's things that used to interest him or her prior to that obsession seem to fade away. Pornography is all-consuming. It's a really great way to shoot your marriage in the head if you wanted to do that. I have about 40 pages in my book, The Porn Myth, that are meticulously documented. That if somebody is such an idiot that they couldn't see that watching strangers have sex could interfere with the most intimate part of their life, like if they're that stupid, then maybe no statistic would help them. But if they want the statistics, I certainly have chapters devoted to it in The Porn Myth, which are meticulously footnoted.
I've heard that the second most stated reason for a divorce request is porn use of the spouse, that they want a divorce.
Yeah, you take a very beautiful thing and you make it ugly. It seems to me that you can't make ugly things ugly. You can't make like moderately attractive things really ugly, like me. But you can make really beautiful things really ugly, right? Like if I poured out a can of trash on the floor here, that would be ugly. What could I do to make it uglier? Like kick it and go look at it now? Like no, it's ugly.
You're saying the more beautiful something is,
the more ugly it can be made.
The more ugly it can be made.
Yeah, that's why I can't be made terrifically ugly, but someone very beautiful could be made very ugly. This is why Lucifer can be made so ugly. This is why sex can be made so ugly.